The Maths on Radio project, which was granted to us on a pilot basis by the Department of Science and Technology, it's been a very wonderful experience for all of us because being a community radio, our job is primarily to impart information to people, be it academic or non-academic. And maths is kind of a subject which is always feared by a larger section of society, be it from the lower economic background or everyone and anyone. So right from childhood, it's a problem which becomes a bigger issue later on. And this was a very interesting project for us because it was something for the first time that we were trying to do hardcore mathematics, maybe from first grade to the 12th grade, slightly higher mathematics. And we were trying to look out for areas which were generally not covered in the textbook. They may be historic aspects or recreational mathematics or things like that. So the basic objective of this particular project was to try and reach out to as many people as possible, try and understand the problems or the fear that they have for maths, and also try out an important medium like radio. Can it be used to popularize mathematics, first of all, and secondly, to kind of create a bond between the radio medium and the people, where they could probably move from that fear factor to another level, which could maybe bring different type of changes in their life, in their personality, not necessarily professionally or academically, but even as a person. So that was a very important objective, to kind of unite the students and the people of the community within the campus and outside the campus, so that they could probably get over the fear of mathematics, and those who love mathematics or those who are driven by mathematics, they could actually share a lot of things which probably the larger section of the society does not know. So that was the primary objective, apart from empowerment of people and popularizing mathematics, this being the year of mathematics. And the point also in one of the objectives is that over the period of years, Indians have generally lost track of what Indians or the Indian civilization has actually contributed to the world of mathematics, which is primarily a very, very large section of it, which has come to us from other ways, and now we remember that. So that was one thing. Also, another objective was to kind of get different angles in terms of books on mathematics, people involved with mathematics, people involved with tricks of mathematics, and also try and get some financial literacy amongst people, maybe traders or maybe small time people, so that if that could help them go one level up in their business management and maybe in terms of profitability. That was the basic objective behind this particular program. Now we tried to when we got this project, what we tried to do is try to connect with all the people whom we know who could contribute to this program, and also all those people who were probably in this need of the program. So maybe schools, colleges, schools also we selected on the basis of generally the activities, the way in which they take initiatives in trying to be innovative in terms of study and in terms of other aspects. So that was the primary aim. So we have also tried to connect a lot of colleges for teachers, the B.Ed colleges, because ultimately they are the ones who will become the teachers of the next generation, and they will start teaching mathematics to people and students. So and of course the students who feared mathematics or those who have any problem with mathematics. So college students were also there, students from non-mathematics sections where courses are there which does not have mathematics. We tried to get them, and we also had all these people, the representatives of all these people, on our advisory board. That's how we tried to connect them, and we got both levels of people, and we tried to get the fabric knit properly, so that it becomes a give and take and a win-win kind of a situation. So that's how we try to start with experiences of mathematics, testimonials of mathematics, because when we started with the program, maths is really huge. So content wise we had to start from somewhere. So we started very, very basic mathematics, informative stuff, definitions, historic aspects, and also testimonials, because when we asked people to join us, the first reaction was, no, maths is not my cup of tea, and why maths, I hate maths. And they were very vocal about it, which we wanted to portray, so that people who are listening, if there are some people who also feel something of the same feeling, they could probably come forward and say, yes, we don't like maths, but then they will actually start listening to the program also. So that was a initiation that we did, and as we went ahead, we got more and more people who got associated with us. More and more different types of contexts associated with mathematics came up, right from maths in daily life to maths in astronomy, maths in sports, maths in music, maths in arts, maths in maybe mechanics, maths in normal studies, geometry, also things like math in rituals and things that we have. So it was a very interesting way of doing it. Also, as we went further into the episodes, what we realized was that various mathematic models were actually employed to provide solutions. For example, in banking, for example, in ticket counters, timetable making, library sciences. So these are daily things that we actually use. So we started, putting capsules of programs of inscriptions and books related to that. So that's how it went on building up. Now the challenge here was for us to first of all maintain the consistency of the incoming and the outgoing, the supply-demand ratio as we call it, because 90 episodes, one episode every day, I don't think it's impossible. Certainly not even difficult, but yes, you have to work hard towards it. But what we made sure was that the supply ratio was always slightly higher than the demand, in terms of the resource person, in terms of the people associated with it, and also in terms of the post-production work. And we try to maintain slightly creative, humorous and catchy aspects in the programming, so that people are hooked on to the radio, and they would probably not switch off the radio at the instance they listen maths on radio. So that was an interesting challenge. Yes, it is not easy to gather quality material consistently. Now that is one thing that we also have to work on, because there are a lot of frivolous material available around, which may be right, may be wrong. So it becomes a challenge to keep that cycle going in terms of authentication, creative inputs, presentation, recording, post-production, and getting it done. But it was a very possible thing, and the pilot has taught us a lot of things in terms of how we could make these things much more smoother. Also, it has connected us with a lot of people who are associated with maths and they want to contribute in such kind of things, and they also find radio as a very interesting medium today, because apart from the various other mediums that are available, radio still has its usage, and it has a very good advantage over certain other mediums. So what I would suggest here is, we could probably try and expand this once again, maybe go in the phase 2 of it, because we have done 90 episodes in 3 months. Probably we could may have the phase 2 or phase 3 of this, where we do it for a slightly longer duration in terms of the number of episodes, and also maybe over 6 months, because the kind of feedback which we have got is very overwhelming, is very encouraging, and probably if we are able to continue it for some time, we may be able to see some impact also, because it's difficult, you cannot have things done overnight. So these 3 months have provided us with a very interesting way of reaching out to the community and trying to remove a kind of fear, which is removable, but it is predominant amongst everyone. So what we would suggest is, if the phase 2 is started, maybe it could be for a longer duration, and also maybe it could be slightly spread over the period of time, having episode every day. We can have a new episode every second day, but at the same time make sure that we repeat the episode tomorrow and then have a new episode day after. So that cycle, if it is maintained, I think that will also give us the advantage of a daily program coming on air. And secondly, it will also provide a bit of cushion to the production team, so that they can put in a bit more of effort in authentication and more creative aspects. For example, now we had a lot of parody songs which were made at this time. We wrote them, but we could not produce them, because it takes some time for those music arrangements and the song and things like that. So they could also have been a very interesting thing. So I think it's a challenging project, because not everyone is able to do that. But also another suggestion is, if there's a group of radio stations who are allotted the phase 2 or phase 1, there could be a common percentage of production amongst all of them, which would also not only help them cushion their production time, but also probably help them to learn from each other. Because if we have common topics, for example, say trigonometry, and each one has to produce a program on trigonometry, on algebra, on geometry, and then circulate them, which will also be broadcasted. So that will help them take off some load of programming, and at the same time learn from each other, because different areas have different community requirements, but then mathematics will be the same. And also bit of improvement in production quality will happen, learning from each other, peer to peer kind of thing. So these are the kind of suggestions which we thought of, and probably it's a very important thing that has been started by the DST, and I hope it continues, because the pilot, I think we may not have been overtly successful, but I think we were genuinely able to create some sort of a thought process, or stimulate the thought process amongst people about mathematics.